Good, beautiful morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And remember, this is a brand new day, and now is a brand new moment. It's important you remember that this is a brand new day, and now is a brand new moment. And that's true for every single instant of your life. Every moment is brand new. I have with me the energy of Ascended Master Jesus today. And he wants to talk about the concept of sitting in the fire without being burned. Very, very important message. You're going to want to stick around and hear all this. Remember, if you're watching, to share this video with other people so they can come and join in. To give lots of likes to the video if you're on TikTok to ensure that the algorithms pick it up and push this out to more people to have the opportunity to hear this very important message today. The concept of sitting in the fire without being burned. I'm going to wait a couple minutes, but I'm really excited about this because this will give you so much more different understanding of what is meant by healing your consciousness and healing your mind and healing your body in a very simple and straightforward and easy to comprehend way. Good morning. Hi, guys. Good to see you. We're just going to a minute or two for people to come and join us. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Rebby. How you doing? Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Hi, guys. Thank you for all your support. Really appreciate it. Yes. Remember, like the video. Give it lots of hearts. It gets pushed out to other people. Hello. Good to see you, Star. Wonderful that you're here. Hi, Christine. Hello from Kentucky. Good to see you. Hi, Kira. We're just giving a couple minutes because it's a really important message. Master Jesus asked me to deliver this message yesterday on his behalf, and he will speak directly to you. And there's some things we're going to cover about Master Jesus, and he also wants to talk a bit about who he calls his cousin, which is John the Baptist, that they were very close in many ways. John didn't just herald the coming of Christ as a teacher and a mentor. He also taught a very different way of ascending your energy to God, how to get closer to God. Both Jesus and John taught very different methods for helping people to connect to God. The method that John the Baptist taught was baptism by water. And it's important you understand what that means. Baptism by water is where John had the knowledge, the wisdom, and the divine inspiration from God directly that he could download or bring that information through and impart it to people. And the bringing of information down from the divine to people was called a baptism by water. It wasn't about submerging your head in water. The baptism by water was the bringing down of divine information and imparting it to the people that were ready to receive it. And it's going to be important for you to understand these two very different styles of connecting you to the God. That's the way John did it. The way Master Jesus taught was what's called baptism by fire. And a baptism by fire meant that you were given certain practices to do, things that you would actually do. Changing what you eat, grounding, watch your thoughts, purifying your body, clearing your mind, releasing emotions from the body. Very specific things for a process of self-purification, so that through a process of self-purification, you elevate your consciousness up to the divine. So water's coming down, fire's going up. And Jesus taught very precise and specific practices for cleaning out your bowels, cleaning out your inner body, purifying the body, purifying the mind. These were very specific things unique to him. Now, what he wants to discuss today is a different type of fire that you must learn to realize that there's a fire that is being put in all of your minds by those who would gain advantage by your suffering. Those who gain advantage by your suffering put fear and death and suffering in your minds. They feed you with ideas and information that cause you to emotionally suffer. They give you beliefs and ideas that are not in alignment with my Father's love. They entertain you with meaningless distractions to keep you in a competitive spirit with each other, to keep you in anger and fear towards each other. And many of you have now found yourself overwhelmed by these emotional intrusions imparted to you by these individuals who gain advantage as long as you suffer and remain disconnected from the Lord. It is important you understand that no matter what they do to you in terms of feeding you information, you have the capacity to make a clear distinction between yourself, your soul, your thinking mind, your emotions, and your physical organism. It is important you understand that your emotions, which are often stimulated by those who are feeding your minds, to feed your mind to be frightened, to be angry, to be judgmental, to point fingers, to gossip. There are many things that you're being fed into your mind that cause you emotional discomfort. And the fire of which I speak today is the fire of these destructive emotions that are being fed into your mind in ever increasing ways. You must understand that the function of emotion is a substance of creation provided by the Spirit that allows you to facilitate functions of action or creation in this world. You were given the use of free will in order that you could exercise thought to stimulate energy for inspired action. For inspired action. But my primary concern has been with the many of you that are entrapped in these emotions, believing that you have no authority or control or power over them, believing that you have no authority over your own thinking mind and your own emotions. This sense of no control is the fire that has been placed in your mind by those who would gain advantage by your suffering. And such a great advantage they have gained from your suffering that they would perpetuate it even more in their exorbitant greed, authority, and power. But I'm to say to you today that it is very important you understand that your emotion, the fire of these emotions, cannot harm you. They have placed many things in your mind, ideas and beliefs that cause internal conflict and strife, that cause you to view your brothers and sisters in an unfavored eye, that cause you to divide amongst one another, causing greater suffering and confusion amongst all of you. It does not matter your religious faith or belief, but that you understand this simple thing, that there are those who are gaining advantage by feeding your mind with fear and anger, greed, gossip, judgment, that would say that because one's skin color is different, that you are somehow different than others, again, to create separation. All of these ideas of separateness, of pointing fingers, of gossip, create fear in each and every one of you. And they know this very clearly, that they can create fear in your mind. But what they do not know is that once you understand that the fires of emotion inside you cannot harm you, that you can sit with an emotion and offer an emotion a blessing that will change your emotion. You have authority and dominion over your mind. That is yours, but you must assume such authority. That you can change your thinking mind, and you can change the emotional qualities within your consciousness, that they cannot harm you. You are the divine authority within your body, as was I in mine. As all great sages and saints become the master of the temple. You are no less than I am in your capacity to assert your will, which is of a divine origin, over your thinking mind and your emotions, that you may sit in the confusion of your mind and not be disturbed by it, realizing that much of the confusion in your mind today was not of your own choosing, but was placed there deliberately to incite fear, anger, and judgment to keep you divided one from the other, that they may offer you false solutions to your suffering. And their solutions would simply perpetuate your suffering. I do not need to provide you with evidence of this fact. It is simply the truth. Look around. More of you are getting sicker and sicker. More of you getting more and more confused, not by your own free will, but by the installation of ideas in your mind given to you by those in positions of authority to whom you have given your trust. But I can say that you may sit in the fires of their ignorance, their judgment, the things they wish to place in your mind, and you may say, no, these are not who I am. I am not this anger. I am not this fear. I am not this rage. I am not this guilt. I am not the shame. This is not who you are. It's not who you are. You are not who you've been made to think you are. You are a soul come from the divine, here to play in the grounds of creation, manifested for you for this explicit purpose of learning creation. But there is not one emotion in your consciousness that can harm you if you understand the distinction between who you are and what you've been taught to believe you think you should be or should not be. Much of your confusion is not your own, but has been provided and furnished for you by those who proclaim to have your best interests at heart. And yet they would say to you that they could heal you and make you whole, and yet you continue to suffer even more. And even though you suffer more, they continue to propagate their lies even further. You must understand what I'm saying, that you are not the emotions that go on within you. These are functions of ideas and information imparted to you by those that are in your positions of authority, to whom you have granted authority. But the only one that should have authority over you is your Creator. And that authority will only be in the way of inspiration. But you must divest yourself of this illusion that you are the pains and the slings and arrows of their insemination into your mind of gossip. They have placed in your mind fear, distrust amongst you. And you know who they are. I know who they are. I have dealt with them before, and I am dealing with them again. You must understand that what they have placed in your mind is not of your own choosing. They have ensured that they would take your children from your homes and give them the fear at a very young age, in very subtle, and now not so subtle and very obvious ways, to seek to confuse your children at a very young age. You have divested yourself of the divine covenant of mother and father to honor and cherish your children. You've divested yourself of that. And you've given the life of your child to others. And you wonder why there is so much confusion in your families, why there is so much fragmentation. You have deferred the responsibility that was given to you by way of the blessing of birth. The greatest blessing to be a mother and a father, as your Creator, mother and father, provided you with the blessing of your life. So too you were given the same capabilities to bless others with life and to honor and cherish and guide them along that way. And in your desire, which they gave you, the desire for the God of money, the God of power, the God of specialness, in that they have seduced you away from the very responsibilities that gave your lives great meaning and fulfillment. And many of you that have acquired great wealth, that have acquired great authority and power over this world. Many of you are not very happy nor content, for you have all the things that you desire, but you are not fulfilled. And this is the outcome, that you would be, in the end, dissatisfied, as you cannot bring what you acquire from this world as a trophy into heaven, where you may say, look what I got. You cannot bring into heaven that which is of this earth, but you will bring into heaven that which is of your soul. If you carry forth your suffering, that cannot be brought into heaven. Heaven is not a place of suffering. And heaven can be made here on earth, where you are right now. To be able to sit in the fires that they have placed in your mind, the fire of guilt and anger, judgment, shame, to realize that many of these ideas and emotions and thoughts are not of your own choosing. None of you were born judging one another. None of you were born in anger. None of you were born as evil or shameful. None of you were born in sin. Each and every one of you came into this world by the initiation of love and not fear. No man is born in sin. All that are born here are born in and of love. Sin is what happens when you deviate from that function of that love, or you are led astray by those who would lead you astray from love. The functions of love are very precise and exacting. There is respect and compassion and kindness and curiosity, creativeness and playfulness in the functions of love. You do not see that in the functions of fear. And they would have you be afraid of the sun, afraid of the earth, afraid of the air, afraid of your neighbor. Their fear is their weapon upon you. And would you still give them your ear? They would even have you sit in sports arenas in freezing cold temperatures to lose your arms and legs. They have got you so enamored with this concept of better and more and winning and losing that you have lost yourself to these things. And you suffer as a result of your deviation from love. And they perpetuate that deviation in many ways. The thoughts they provide you, the entertainment they give you. They say, look here, look there. Look at those ones, look at these ones, they say to you. They're good, they're evil. And where does your great effort of wealth go? The vast majority of you are what you call the poor. And you are kept in this state of being poor by those that gain advantage over your suffering. And the way away from suffering is love. That in your anger, in your fear, in your guilt, and in your shame that they have given to you as a gift, they provided it with you under the guise of excitement and entertainment and said, here, watch this. We will give you a gift of entertainment. We will give you false heroes to believe in that you yourself would not think to be a hero. We will give you ideas and information that will frighten you and scare you, but we will tell you it is entertainment and it is good for you. And then your mind is filled with fear and dissatisfaction and discomfort. And they would say to you, you have a problem because you feel the way you feel. And yet they gave you the impetus to feel such things. They put death and violence before your eyes and tell you it is exciting and entertaining. And your mind is now filled with death and violence. You cannot find love in death and violence, nor can you find peace. You will not find love in death and violence, in judgment, in gossip. There is no love in those things. There's only division and fear in those things. Turn away from these dark ones that would have you believe that entertainment that they provide you with is fulfilling and satisfying. For it is not. if the statements of their offering of the gift of your happiness at wealth, your happiness at entertainment, your happiness at giving the authority and power granted to you by your Father and giving that authority to them, if they were true in their words that what they were going to say and do would bring you fulfillment, you would be fulfilled. Nay, they lie to you. And you've become so accustomed to accepting their lies as the truth, you've forgotten who you are. You are now in the lies they have given you to believe, the fear, the judgment, the guilt, the shame. And it is not who you are, those emotions. And now they begin with your little ones. They take your children into their centers for teaching them what they would have them believe. And they turn child against parent, husband against wife, brother against sister. And you witness this and you say, why, oh Lord, why? Why is this happening? Because you have accepted it and you continue to accept it. They hold shiny, beautiful things out before you and say, look at what you can have. But you must work hard and do this job and be this way in order to achieve this. And when you achieve that, you cannot eat it. You cannot drink it. You cannot find peace with it. And the comfort you will get with it is very temporary and often meaningless, as none of these things can bring you into heaven. Heaven is a state of consciousness and being based on the foundation of love, which is everlasting. But the things of these individuals will keep you in perpetual suffering, as it has been for many thousands of years. They feed you their ideas, their information. They hold up their golden idols before you and say, this is what you must seek. And you go and you seek those golden idols. Many of you futilely trying to do so. And many of you that do achieve those golden idols find yourself dissatisfied, lost in drunken stupors, lost in the realm of sensuality, losing your divinity moment by moment, each day feeling less fulfilled within yourself. More is not necessarily better. But I say to you, the beginning of your liberation comes in understanding and recognizing that what has been placed in your mind, you must understand that much of what you think in your mind and what you feel inside is not of your own choosing. It was placed there, offered as a gift, even to your parents, who they say, well, we have created these things called televisions, and you may place your children in front of your television. It will entertain them, and you may do other things. That was not by accident. This is very calculated. That they put very simple things. They made it like a wolf in sheep's clothing and said, this would be very good for you. You and your husband will have more time, and your children will be busy. And the family got weaker and weaker. And then dysfunction came because there's no love where there is no communion with each other, where mother and father and children no longer unite with each other in meaningful thought and purpose. There is dysfunction. And so do not be surprised at the confusion of your children or how they rebel against you, because they have been taught to rebel against you. You put them in front of those boxes, the so-called mechanisms of entertainment, and they've even convinced many of you to believe that the mechanisms of entertainment that say, let's pick two teams and let's have these two people fight against each other until one wins. And you pick your favorite team and you win or you lose. It is all manipulation. Can you not see this? To manipulate what you feel, that you would feel bad inside, which is what you do feel inside when you pit yourself against your brothers and sisters. And so how can you find peace in a place of sadness or anger, fear, judgment? You cannot find peace in those homes. You cannot find peace in those things. The kingdom of God is within you. and they have filled your mind with confusion that you could not see that kingdom of God within you. Many of you look inside and see only the confusion, the frustration, the anger, the judgment that you harbor in your mind that was placed there, not by you, but by them who now control your schools and your universities. These dark ones. And they pitch you one against the other. And they delight in your confusion amongst each other. They've done this before many times. It is not the first time I've encountered them, but this may be the last. So to understand that these emotions that have been given to you by your so-called educators, your so-called entertainment, the emotions that they have placed in your mind are not who you are. But you must understand that you must learn to change that. And only you of your own free will can exercise this change of transformation. You must willingly surrender your anger, your fear, your guilt, your shame. You must willingly surrender these things. And you cannot surrender them by pill, nor drug, nor attack. You cannot say, I dislike these emotions, I get rid of them. You cannot attack an enemy and find peace. You cannot attack an enemy and find peace. You cannot get angry at these feelings. You cannot get frustrated. You cannot compound it in this fashion. It is only through love's extension that you can begin the process of internal healing. Only your willing and intentional desire to love thine enemy within thine own mind, to clear your mind. What does this mean, to love thine enemy? It means you have anger, you have fear, you have guilt, you have shame, you have enemies inside you that have been placed in your mind by them. It means you don't attack them because you would simply add more to the fuel to the fire. But through love's extension, and if there are any amongst you right now that can hear what I'm saying, then listen very carefully to me. If you have any fear, you have any anger, you have any doubt inside yourself right now, any emotions of being less than the divine being that you are, do not be afraid of those feelings. They cannot harm you. But you must learn how to be an extension of love to them. That is, if you feel angry, do not attack your anger. Do not express your anger, but you must learn how to transform your anger, to turn the water into wine. The quality of one emotion, that being fear and anger, judgment, guilt, and shame, consider that as the waters of confusion that you wish to turn into the wine of love. That you can engage your emotional energy in such a precise way that you can transform that energy from what it is into something very different. And I say to you right now, turn your attention to that within you that you do not like, those emotions, those feelings that are uncomfortable, your anxiousness, your sadness. Turn your attention to those things right now. Look upon them, but look upon them with love. Turn to your anger, turn to your judgment, turn to your fear, turn to your guilt, turn to your shame, and say to it, although I do not understand you or where you come from, but I am willing to love you. Even if I do not understand you, I am willing to love you. Be sincere in the extension of your love to these things. Be sincere in your extension of love to these emotions, and you will feel them begin to change. You are an extension of love, and when you exercise that function upon your own mind, you will begin to rebuild the temple. You'll begin to change the water into wine. Be very persistent, lovingly persistent, no matter how you feel. I am willing to love you, honor you, and cherish you. Although I may not understand why you are angry, I am willing to love you anyway. These emotions will not hurt you when you extend your love to them. They will be transformed, for the functions and actions of love reap a very different reward than the actions and functions of fear and its children. And you are by nature a manifestation of divinity. It is your true nature. And you may assert that divinity as a function of love. And you may choose not to assert your divinity as a function of love. You may simply sit in the sea of your turmoil, the sea of turmoil, which you may calm the seas in your mind. You may say to the mind, "Be still, for I love you and I am with you. Be still, I am with you and I love you." You may say to the tempest in your own mind, "Be still, I am with you, I love you. Be still, I am with you, I love you." You may tame the tempest in your own mind, that you will find peace, and the waters by your declaration shall become still. But you must be persistent, lovingly persistent. I will extend my love and gratitude into you fully and completely. I shall not attack you. I declare that peace be upon you. You declare this in the tempest of your own mind. Peace be upon you. Love be upon you. Be earnest and sincere in this. And if you are doing this, you are experiencing the very blessing that you would ask me to provide for you, that you may also do such a thing upon yourself and your loved ones. Peace be upon you. Love be upon you. You must declare to your enemies within you, even though those enemies have been placed inside you by these dark ones, you have the authority to tame them, to change their manifestation by your love. And for those of you that have ears, hear. And for those of you that have eyes, see. If you understand what I've said, then you understand that much of what you've been told to believe is false. But this I say to you, if you in your all good grace extend your love and compassion to the tempests of your mind, that you will begin to restore peace. You will calm the seas. You will turn the water into wine. Please understand the meaning of these words has very little to do with turning literal water into literal wine, but it has to do with turning the distasteful and destructive elements of your emotional consciousness from one state into another, to change the water of confusion into the wine of love. Please understand these words, as they have created things you call texts and books to tell you what I meant when I said what I said and did what I did. And I tell you that much of what they have written was to their benefit, to confuse you and to cause you to believe something other than what was true. But the tempest in your mind is under your jurisdiction of love. But you must assert your will. That is why you were given your will. You were given a will that you might assert it, not depend upon the will of another, not even upon me. For your will and my will come from the same source. And there are a few things that they did get accurate. That is, that you may aspire and join me on the throne of my Father's house, for there are many thrones for all of you awaiting for you to take your place. Learning to assign your will, your divinity, your love to this world, to be the manifestation of love that you intended to be, and to not simply accept the fear, the anger, the distrust that they would sow amongst you and continue to do so even now. For those that would tell you they could heal you and you get sicker. Those of you that say they will make your life better, make your life worse. And yet still you would offer them your trust, and you would not turn and say, "Oh Lord, guide me." And then when I come upon you and I say, do this and do not do this, think this and do not think this, and you say, oh, that's just a thought. I say to you, do not drink that alcohol, but you drink it anyway. I say to you, do not be angry at your brothers and sisters, and you're angry at your brothers and sisters. I say to you, do not steal, and you steal. And you know when I say these things to you, because the moment before you decide to do it, you have thought about it. But you have been taught. You've been taught that taking is better than giving. And you've been taught to give to those that would take from you with no recompense. They offer you nothing but sand in return for your gold. They say, you give us this and we will give you that. And even the taste of your food and the breathing of your air has become difficult. But they will teach you to fear all things of God, the sun, the air, your neighbor. They will continue to try and keep you in fear. And I say to you, in their fires you cannot be burned, if you understand what I'm saying. In the fires of your fear, your anger, your judgment, your guilt and shame, which were given to you under the guise of entertainment, that you may liberate yourself from these. You may rise above these that they have given you, recognizing that much of your anger and your rage and your guilt and your shame were given to you by them and have set you against your mothers and your fathers and your sisters and your brothers. And you must awaken. You have a free will for a reason. I cannot force you to use your will. That is your choice. Nor can they force you to use your will, but they can manipulate you, and they have done so quite gloriously from their perspective. They have manipulated you into believing that it is good to have such a vast system of entertainment where so many millions of you observe one another trying to defeat each other. The once great Caesar said, simply give them bread and circuses, and they will be content to do and be as we would command them. If you look at what your bread and circuses have done to them, well, that shall be done unto you also. But understand, they are giving you bread and circuses. Now, I want to say thank you, first of all, to Master Jesus. I also want to talk to you about something that happens to me quite regularly. I started getting this weird sensation of like a cold or something in my body, and I thought, I better go to bed a little earlier than usual last night, so I did. And around 3 o'clock in the morning, my guardian angel Sean says, wake up, William, wake up. I said, what? And he says, you have to drink water. You have to come out and drink a full glass of water. So I came out and I drank one of these. And at 4 o'clock, John wakes me up again and says, you've got to go drink another glass of water. So I get up and I drink another glass of water. 5 o'clock rolls around. He says, you have to drink another glass of water. So I drink another glass of water. And I'm thinking, well, I really do want to get extra sleep. And he says, no, you can't. He said, you have to go into the bathroom. And at that point, I had this weird tickly sensation in the back of my throat. And he said, you have to spray your ears with hydrogen peroxide. So I literally took this hydrogen peroxide and started spraying it in my ear. He said, you got to push your finger onto your eardrum slightly to force the hydrogen peroxide to the eardrum. Very gently push it in. He said, you'll hear. And so for 5 minutes, I did this. And then he said, now do the other side. So I dumped it out of this ear and put it in this ear. And I did the same thing. He had me do that 3 times. By the end of the 3rd time, all sensation of discomfort was gone from the body. Your guides and angels are real things. The ascended masters exist. There is a God, there is a devil. These things are real. There is evil and there is good. They both compete in the same realm of creation. You look at the yin and the yang, the dark, the light. They exist. They don't have to. You can choose one or the other, but you can't serve them both. You can't be good and evil. You can be one or the other. Which master will you serve? Right? They will talk to you. They will guide you. They will keep you healthy. They'll keep you strong. They really will. You need to learn to connect to your guides and angels, connect to Master Jesus. But he tells me, many of the texts, these so-called religious books, have been fabricated to divide and manipulate brothers from sisters. The illusion that skin color should keep us separate is insanity, but it's been perpetuated. So they create different religions for different people, so that you got more people of this color believing this religion, and more people of this color believing that religion, more people of this color believing that religion. And they have created these texts to divide us. The only true learning you will find is in your own heart. You must get past your thinking mind. You must get past the distraction of this world. You must go within. The kingdom of God is truly within you. You need to learn to go within, to get past your anger, your fear, your judgment, all those emotions. They will not harm you. You can say to them, be still. I'm willing to love you, but be still, be quiet, be peaceful. You need to restore yourself to a place where you can receive guidance and inspiration from love's mouth, from the mouth of love, not the mouth of fear, of the mind of the world. And there's this process of doing that is called ascension. John the Baptist taught information. He downloaded information to people. He downloaded wisdom and profound truths and knowledge energetically to people that received it, were inspired and uplifted. Master Jesus teaches a different type of ascension. He teaches that you need to meditate, get the body quiet, feed the body differently, clothe the body differently. He even says that different clothes are really good for your body. He says linen is one of the best clothing to wear for your body vibrationally. But he taught his students to very specifically learn how to purify the body. A lot of people don't know that they actually used gourds to do enemas back in the days of the biblical times, what they call the biblical times. They used gourds. Jesus taught his students to use gourds to purify the bowel systems. Taught them how to immerse themselves in the soil of the earth to have the earth purify them. Taught them how to be out in the sun and just immerse themselves in the transformative energy of the sun. Taught them how to drink water in such a fashion that it would purify the body, to clear the body, then to clear the mind, to release anger, fear, guilt, shame from their bodies. And there are actual, simple mechanisms for teaching your mind and body how to let go of emotional energy. So Jesus teaches the process of ascending your energy, or baptism by fire, which means you ascend your energy up through practices. John the Baptist teaches through the baptism by water, which is the bringing down of information to others. And most functions of teaching are one of those two. It's either the master giving you information or teaching you practices and techniques to elevate yourself to the divinity. But the statement, the kingdom of God is within you, is a profound and wondrous truth that you all need to begin to understand. Right? But, what he was saying earlier about we've been given false heroes. Look at all these Marvel shows and all these hero shows. And you watch the show and you're in that. There's a hero that's going to come and rescue everybody. And what they're telling you to believe is that you don't have to do anything. Someone will come and rescue you. That's bullshit. You are a divine entity. Every single one of you. You're a divine entity. You must elevate your energy back to the divinity that is you. Surrender your fear, surrender your anger, surrender your judgment, and do not feed the darkness. Every time you allow yourself to be fed lies and anger and judgment and gossip and deception, you are harming yourself and you're harming your brothers and sisters in this world. It does not matter the color of your skin. It does matter the color of your character. Are you of love or are you of fear? Which will you choose in this moment and the next and the next and the next? Are you choosing to speak in love or speak in fear? Are you choosing to act in love or act in fear? What are you choosing? You get this choice every single moment. And the choices that you make from moment to moment make up like this cosmic bank account. that the actions of love, the thoughts of love, the behaviors of love accumulate. The thoughts of love, the actions of love, the thoughts of fear, the actions of fear, the behaviors of fear accumulate. And there is a literal energetic accounting that is happening in your life right now, all the time. You're either more towards love or you're more towards fear. I'm being told that humanity is about 54% in fear more than it is in love, which is causing huge changes environmentally. You have to realize the environment is energetically reacting, responding to you all the time. It's important you understand that. The environment is energetically responding to all of us. You know, they've created all these beliefs and ideas about global warming and these beliefs about hunger and starvation. They create these things. They manufacture these events with the very wealth that you give them on a day-to-day basis. Look, you know what I'm saying is true. But the hero is inside you, that you yourself individually must decide, am I going to live from fear or am I going to live from love? And if you choose to live from love, in the beginning, it might be a very difficult choice because there are people that are going to try and get you back into their fear, right? But the rewards of love are infinitely more enjoyable than the rewards of fear. Although if you can manipulate people as they have their great mansions and their castles and they have their titles and their papers that tell you they are this and they are that. But do they have love? Do they truly have love? If you take from your brother for your own satisfaction but leave them hungry, that is not love. There is no love in wealth that causes others to suffer. And if you choose to ignore the effects of your own causing, that will be no excuse. Ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance is no excuse for a lack of love. You will not get away with it one way or another. Okay, let's do some Q&A. Someone, hi, JJGG, it's a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hello, I've been doing better with my healthy lifestyle, but seeing little changes. Can Master Jesus tell me what I need to know for the restoration of my body to wholeness and perfection? Thank you. And I love you, Jesus. Yeah, I love him too. It was 5.5 years ago, before he began speaking to me, I used to think people were crazy religious nuts. You know, what do you mean Jesus saves? No, I know. I find myself saying, I love Jesus too. I really do. He's a master of love. And there are many others like him, like Yogananda, many other masters of the teachings of love. But let me just tune in here for a moment. Yes. He's saying you need to remove the memory of suffering from those who gave it to you. Can you be more specific? Turn your attention, turn your love to those, your mother and your father, and their mother and father, and their mother and father before them. Turn to them and let the very vibration of your love move to them. Offer that love back to them. Restore their love with yours. In your physical body, you contain the memory and experience of their suffering as well, that you might liberate them from that, and so restore yourself. In giving the gift of love to others, you shall restore yourself to that also. I'm going to paraphrase what he's saying. So sit down, get into a place of meditation, and bring into your consciousness the awareness of your mother and father, their mothers and fathers, and their mothers and fathers. So 3 generations back, and let the vibration of your love flow back to all of them till you can feel that vibration of love fills all of them, that you can feel that feeling of love is as whole and complete in them as it is in you. He's saying to remain in that. When you get to that place where you can feel that love is fulfilled, stay in this. Stay in this. Stay in this for 2 hours. To stay in that love for them for 2 hours. And when you come back to your body in this fashion, you will know that it has been done. You will know that it has been done. Wow, I really like that. That's really cool. You're very welcome so much. Hi, guys. Hi. Sorry about that. Gotta be careful I don't. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sorry, I'm just coming back to William's world now. Again, I want to say thank you to John and Master Jesus and the other beings that are with us, gathered here with all of us today. There is a huge movement to either keep you trapped in fear or to restore you to love. But we must learn to use our own will to restore ourselves to love, right? We must learn to do that. Okay, I'm just scrolling up here, finding a lot of questions here. I want to get them all. Thank you. Question from Lauren. What advice do my spirit guides and guardian angels have for me to cleanse and purify my home? I'm being told that there's a sound that you have made with your voice that is very pleasing to your own ear, that gives you joy whenever you make this sound with your body. Go to each room of your house and offer that sound. Offer that sound to each room. There's a sound that you make with your body that you enjoy when you make it with your body. And that is very important, that you go to each room and make that sound in each room. Stay with each room until you can feel the vibration of the sound is now held by the room, that the room is now filled with that vibration of your sound. Do not set a limit on how long each room will take, as you will know when it is fulfilled. You will feel it when it is fulfilled. Well, I like that. Going into each room. My thought would have been to use like crystal bowls, but they're telling me to tell you that you actually have a sound that you can make with your body that you really like when you make this sound. I don't know what the sound is, but they're saying you know what that sound is. Go into each room and make that sound until you feel that room is filled with the energy of that sound. Then go on to each room of the house like that, including the basement. They're saying, including the basement. Do the basement. The foundation is very important. Hi. Question from Benjamin. Where did Jesus study and who did he learn the information from during the time that isn't documented in the Bible? You know, before he started the miracles in the New Testament. Benjamin, thank you for asking that question. So what I've been told by him is that he left what they call classical Jerusalem and Bethlehem, those areas. He migrated to India and went to many different teachers in India that taught him different posturings of the body, taught him different breathing techniques to master the physical body, because what he was preparing for was absolute mastery. So he went to India and he spent several years in India. I'm not going to disclose the years because he's in the process of dictating the whole story to us right now. And then he went from India, then he went to China, and he learned from Buddhists and other masters in China. Again, different functions and practices to master the function of his body, to master the function of his mind, to make it divine, to put it in the image and likeness of the Creator, so that when the time would come, that he would know what to do. Then he went from China, and then he traveled through Europe, and then returned back to what you call the classical biblical area of Bethlehem, Jerusalem, and that area. And then he taught all through that region, because he had been told that he had to teach in his own home where he would stand the greatest chance of being rejected. That he would finalize and cement his divinity through being able to stay in a state of love and grace against his enemies, to totally remain in a state of love and grace, even while he was dying on the cross, to totally keep his consciousness in a state of love and grace. That love and grace that he stayed in allowed him to unite with the Father, as one with the Father. He transcended matter, time, and space with love. Thank you for that question, Benjamin. Hi, Holly. Good to see you. Glad you're doing well. Hi there. May I please have curious asking, please have a message from my Father Jesus. I feel he is with me in every step of the way. Thank you. Your courses helped me to release a lot of fears. I'm really glad to hear that, Kira. I can't say that they're my courses. They're really Master Jesus and Buddha and the other masters who teach through me. It's their courses. They work through our other mediums as well. But I'm honored and privileged to be a vehicle for this information. I truly am. This is what ever since my guardian angel John talked me off that bridge 44 years ago, my life has been one of wanting to help people. Even in my worst states of dysfunction, I'm still desirous to help other people. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life helping bring you back to love with whatever information they give me to share with you. The whole focus is to return you to love. Each and every one of you to be returned to love. And I think our master classes that they told us to manifest serves that purpose very, very well. Very, very well. A message. But he's saying it's really important to know your function of love. That love is not something that is outside of your being. It is what you truly are. To realize that you are love. To realize that you are love. And that the function of you in relation to all the other things is that of transformation. That you can extend your love and transform those who are in fear and suffer. That the way of your love is freedom for others. The way of love is the freedom for others. Oh, I like that. It's really cool. Thank you, Kira. Appreciate that. Hello, Heather. Good to see you. Welcome. Someone saying, I had shame and anger last week, remembering how sad it was watching my 8-year-old child walking to a school building, me knowing they were squashing his creativity, his light. Yeah, this is what they're talking about. I really appreciate what you're saying. But you've given this power to them. You can take it back. So many of you have been trained to believe that the family is not as important as somebody else educating your child. Does that make sense to you? That someone that doesn't know you is going to know what's right for your child? The modern educational system was created by the Rockefellers. The modern education was created by the Rockefellers. And Rockefeller, in his own book, said he created education so he could create workers, not thinkers, not God-loving people, workers that would do what he wanted them to do. And that's what he's created. And it's worked very well. And in that process, he created education to take children from families to give them the gift of his evil, the gift of his anger and fear, the gift of his control and authority. So education today is a quick way to become uneducated, unloving, uncaring, disconnect you from your family. And then what have they done? They've convinced women that your career should be first and foremost. Again, and many of you, I get many women come to me for readings that are saying, I didn't get a chance to have children. I focused on this and that, and I forgot about that. And it's sad. It's unfortunate. And they convince you, oh, you can have a career and you can have children. And yeah, but then you end up getting a maid to take care of your kids. So your children don't get to know you. And then you find your kids alienated from you, doing drugs and alcohol. And you wonder why that happens, because there's no love. Love is designed to be what the family functions on. But I really feel for you, Van Twinkle. I like that, Van Twinkle, by the way. But you have free will to choose. But they put families into this conundrum that now mom and dad work, and now you have to depend on somebody you don't know to take care of your children. Now your family is divided. A house divided cannot stand. It's why they've been able to increase taxes, create a bigger medical system, a bigger mental health system, creating more suffering, more pain, more guilt, more shame, divesting you of your power more and more and more because you've given up your family. Family is power. Family is the real source of love, not how much money you have or don't have. Love will never let you down. Most people don't even know how to build a home anymore. Most people don't know how to grow their own food. They made you dependent on their food and what they put in the food. You have to realize what has been done to you over the last 150 years, folks. It's been done to you. And you continue to do it. And they continue to tell you, this will be really good for you. You'll have more money. You'll have more free time to yourself because we'll take care of your kids for you. We'll entertain them for you. We'll tell them what to believe. I really feel for parents this day and age, especially young parents, that think that that is the way. And yet you see greater dysfunction, discomfort. You see conflict, society. You see war. These are products of a loveless creation. And the family ultimately is the primary source of love and growth and transformation and change. You have to remember that. I won't get into that. Thank you so much. Adam's asking, does any of my spirit guides hold any message for me? If so, please identify which ones and what exactly they need to tell me. You don't need to know which ones they are, Adam, but you do need to stop living in doubt. Oh, hang on here. We got somebody who wants to come on live. Okay, hang on. I'm going to bring somebody on live. I'm going to unplug the microphone. Let me know if you guys on TikTok can still hear me. Let's go. Here we go. Accept. We're going to try this out. Hello, Aldin. How are you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi, guys. Even, you see that thing that just popped up on TikTok? I can't. Can you guys on TikTok still hear me? I'm just going down to see if you guys can still hear me. I got a lot of comments. Wonderful. Can you hear me now? I cannot hear you. Yeah, I cannot hear you. We're going to have to go back. Okay.
I can hear him.
You can hear him? Okay, what's he asking?
Hang on a second.
Hang on, my wife is hearing what you're saying, and she's going to give me a system to actually hear what you're saying. Thank you, beautiful. Okay, brother, what would you like to say? What is your question? What is your question? Yeah. Yeah, I can't understand. Yeah, I know you're speaking in Arabic, but I can't. We're from Toronto, Canada. What is your question? So what is your question? Well, I guess he doesn't have a question, and there's lots of other people here that want to have questions. So I'm going to disconnect from him, and we will go on. If you want to come live, I'm more than happy to bring you on. But please make sure you have a question when you come live. I'm just going to scroll up. We got a lot of questions here. Hi, guys. Thank you so much. I'm just scrolling up. Okay. For those of you on TikTok, keep in mind, I go live on TikTok exclusively at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. For everybody else, I go live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. I live stream at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Toronto. How do we discern the ones that would harm us from the ones like us? This is a great question, Beth. Thanks for asking. Because the ones that are like you will be of love. They won't be telling you don't trust, be afraid. They won't be doing that. They won't be telling you to judge your neighbor. They won't be gossiping. They won't be wanting to take your money. They won't be trying to manipulate you to separate you from your children. It'll be really easy and straightforward. The story of Adam is clear with Anunnaki's story, but can you throw more light on Eve's creation? Again, you must understand that language changes over time. So somebody's asking about the creation of Adam and Eve. I'm going to plug my other microphone back in. I think the quality is a little better. There we go. So as far as Adam and, okay, I will leave it out then. So as far as the story of Adam and Eve, let's look at that a little closely from a scientific perspective. What modern science has realized, and what the Atlantean civilization, the Lemurian society, what the continent of Eden understood scientifically then, is that there's these substances of creation called atoms and electrons. And first there was the atom, and then the atom got an electron that electromagnetically bond to it. And these two elements, the atoms and electrons, become the foundational block of what we call matter. So Adam and Eve are the first manifestation of physical creation. Atoms and electrons, atoms and Eves, are the first foundations of physical creation. Now, where the atom and where the electron came from, the only way to know that is to experience the energy of the Creator directly, to become one with it. And the processes of elevating your consciousness in frequency will lead you to that place. But the function of Eve is that she was attached. She came from the rib of man. No, she's bonded to that electromagnetic flow. And it's interesting, if you look at the Bible a little further in Genesis, where it talks about how life was created, and then God made Adam, and then made Eve, atoms and electrons. And then these atoms and electrons, Adam and Eve, began to reproduce. And it goes on in Genesis for many pages of so-and-so begat and begat and begat. And this is a function of atoms and molecules gathering like they do in the womb. When your child is conceived, there's this massive process of cellular reproduction, producing more after its own kind until you finally have a physical body. So the stories of Adam and Eve are, again, a scientific dissertation on how matter was formed into flesh. Quite honestly, that's what I've been told. Casey's asking, what new interests would be best and most beneficial for me to take on at this time? Thank you. Casey, for you, I'm being shown like a giant paintbrush. Like this, it's like you're a little child and this giant paintbrush. Like it's really big. It's a beige toothbrush with the steel thing on the end and then the brush coming off the end. This black and white brush. You want to, again, I'm presuming that means something to do with painting, but it's very huge. It's very obvious that that's the symbol that they're giving me to give to you. So if somebody's saying, hi Heidi, saying she caught a cold right now. Heidi, go to your bathroom. If you've got a little bottle of spray of hydrogen peroxide, you can buy it. Most drugstores will carry a little small spray bottle of hydrogen peroxide. Squirt it in each ear, but hold it. First one ear, hold it, let the bubbling stop, and do the other a couple of times. And you'll kill the pathogens, because a lot of people don't know that pathogens that get into your throat come in through the ears. They propagate in the ear canals. A good friend of mine who's a very specialist in naturopathic health informed me a number of years ago that pathogens that migrate into your throat and in your sinus cavity come through the ear canal, because the ear canal is a perfect incubation place for pathogens. That's just bacteria and viruses, right? So by spraying hydrogen peroxide in the ear canal and tilting the head, you'll let the hydrogen peroxide kill all those pathogens in the ear canal, and that will relieve that. Because I was getting a bit of a sore throat last night and it's completely cured up now. But I got my guardian angel John woke me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and had me do a bunch of stuff to prepare for that. Water is another thing. If you're not drinking enough water, dehydration will cause illness. Yeah, you need to learn to listen more. You are very blessed. All of you are blessed. Thank you for subscribing, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to my TikTok channel. Really appreciate it. And YouTube. Yeah, we're going to scroll down here. Yeah. So now Leslie's just saying people are now being left in dumpsters because they can't afford funerals. Isn't that fascinating? Families used to bury their relatives on their own property. You have to realize what's being done to you. You got to realize that these are the same people that 2,000 years ago crucified Master Jesus when he was in that lifetime. He's back now in a different body. But in that lifetime, the very same people that crucified him and thousands upon thousands of other Christians for 300 years, because after they crucified Jesus, they began crucifying anybody who learned from him the teaching about how to get connected to God. The same people that crucified him are the same people running the planet today. Why do you think they call it the Roman Catholic Church? So understand they're still crucifying Christians today. And anybody else they can, not just Christians, anybody who gets close to God in the truest sense of that word. Doesn't matter whether or not you're a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian or a Jain. Doesn't matter what your religious faith is. For anybody in your religious faith that's really truly getting close to their divinity, they'll try and take you out because they know that the minute you realize that God has greater authority than them, they'll have no power over you. They don't want you to know God. They don't want you to know the real God. They want you to know the God of their books, the scriptures they've written. This is the God you should believe in. And their God is really a golden God. It's not really the God that lives inside you right now. But yeah, they're doing all kinds of crazy shit right now. I will, as above, so below. That's very true. Can you let me know if I have any message from my guide? Hi, Carrie. Yes. You need to take an Epsom salt bath today, Carrie. Take a very high density Epsom salt bath today. They're telling me you need to pull some toxins out of your body. A very concentrated Epsom salt bath today. Take a very concentrated Epsom salt bath today. Hi, guys. Amanda saying, my son is feeling my shift as he says, the past few days, I'm not going to watch any TV. It's wonderful. Yeah, because TV is an indoctrination. It really, really is. And you know, we got wonderful things like TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. These devices, as much as they can be used for evil, they can also be used for good. The television could be teaching people how to meditate. Imagine putting your child in front of a television program where they teach the child to breathe and relax their body. Imagine how your child would feel every day if they could learn how to breathe and relax their body, or to breathe and quiet their mind. Imagine if your children could make their mind quiet. Imagine if you could make your mind quiet. So many of you got your mind going, yeah, 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 all the time. You go to bed at night and your mind's going, la, 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 la. Imagine if you could just say to the mind, be still. Like Master Jesus was saying earlier, that you have authority, that your mind is like the Sea of Galilee, that when there's the tempest there, I'm paraphrasing now, that when the tempest is there, that you can say to it, be still, be still, be still, be still. You can calm the seas, right? It's not the sea out there, it's the sea in your own mind. They don't want you to know the truth about this, folks. They want you to believe that something outside of you is God, and something out there is changed. The water into wine, I like his elegant explanation of that. Turning an old emotion like fear or guilt or shame and transforming it from guilt and shame into love and curiosity and excitement. Turning the water into wine. I love that. Such a beautiful articulation. I know, Tanya, he doesn't speak English. It's okay. He does speak a little bit of English. But if you're going to come live on TikTok or YouTube, make certain you have a question. This time is very precious for all of us. It's very, very precious. And bless that man wherever he is right now. I bless that man wherever he is, whatever he was seeking. Yeah. Unconditional love is not so rare. It's rare to see in the world, but understand that your nature is unconditional love. And the truth of that is, why do you give so much of your family, your love, your blood, your sweat, your tears? Why do you give so much to beings that disrespect you, that steal from you, that take your wealth, take your families, that tax you beyond belief? Because your true nature is love, and love is unconditional. But I'll tell you, love in the world at this time must become conditional. You cannot love and accept evil. You can't allow evil to be good. And they've got you to believe that that which is evil is good, and that which is good is evil. They've reversed it around for a lot of you. They really have. You're welcome, Casey. Someone saying, can I pay installments for the Masterclass 102 Liberation course? Yes, Maria, you can. There's a PayPal pay feature, pay after feature that you can access in the checkout. It will split the payments up through PayPal for you. So yeah, for those of you, we have our upcoming Masterclass 102 that begins in about 4 weeks' time. I don't have the exact date in front of me because we're right in the middle of our Masterclass 101 Awakening. But Masterclass 102 Liberation is about learning how to relinquish, transform, and transmute old emotions that you've been programmed with. Your anger, the guilt, the shame that you've acquired from this world. How do you change and transform them? Master Jesus will literally work with you in that course and help you to transform and transmute through meditation, through discussion, through practices, how to shift and change the energy that you've been given by this world. You can literally, it's like, think of this water as fear, okay? This water is fear. And suddenly you take the emotion, you take this water, you put it in the freezer. We'll say the water's fear. And we'll say that the temperature in the refrigerator is freezing, is love. So if I take this water and I put it into the freezer, it doesn't matter what the water feels. If that vibration of freezing is going into the water, that water is going to turn into ice. It has no choice. So when you learn how to extend your love into your fear, your anger, your guilt, your shame, it works on the exact same principle. So that you sustain a vibration of love to your fear, the fear starts to change just the same way as the water starts to change, because the vibration of the freezing in the freezer is consistent and persistent, and the water is just transformed by the inductive process of one frequency being imparted to another substance. So your emotions can literally be changed from one state to another, and you'll learn that in the masterclass. Maria, I'm looking forward to seeing you there with the other students we have. Wonderful. You're very welcome, Maria. Yeah, it's a very powerful time. So many people are lost in emotion right now. They think that they have no control over it. This is just the way I feel. No, that's the way you've been trained to feel. Your school system, your entertainment systems, your video games, many things teach you about murder and mayhem and destruction. You're going to have to wake up, folks. Or you can remain asleep and continue to suffer on the burden. Just wait until they start sticking these goggles on your face and project you into a new reality, and you have no control over what they do to you. Right? That's where it's going if you're not careful. Lisa's asking, William, can Joshua tell me why my siblings are so against me? Is it because of my spiritual belief? No, it's because of their fear. It's not because of your spiritual belief. It's because of their fear. What you can do is you can extend a blessing to their fear. You can extend a blessing of love to their fear. Just like that water has no choice when you project a freezing temperature at it. The water has no choice but to freeze. You want to project the energy of love towards them. Just wish them love and grace. Even if you don't understand why they're behaving the way they're behaving, I extend love and grace to you. Don't have to say this to them directly. This will be the miracle for you. You want to deliberately and intentionally send out a vibration of love. I send love and grace to you. Even if I don't understand you, I'm going to send this vibration of love and grace, and do that a couple times each day to every one of them. And don't tell them you're doing this. And then just observe what happens, because you need to experience what happens when you do something in order to know if what you're doing is working. In our Masterclass 102, you will be given practical activities such as that to literally learn how to change the conditions and emotions and energy of other people around you by being a function of love. But try that for a few days and you'll be quite pleased with the results. Love has a very specific outcome, just like fear. Fear, anger, guilt, shame have very specific outcomes on what you're going to think, say, and do. Love, compassion, kindness, goodness, gentleness, they have very specific outcomes in what they'll cause you to say and do. Right? If you can't control your emotions, then your emotions will control you. You'll feel like a prisoner in your own body. And I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Hello, there's a young man that wants spiritual guidance. Did Jesus send him? Yes. Yes, because you have that knowledge and needs. Spiritual guidance. Remember, restoring your brother to love. Restoring your brother to love. In assisting them to understand that what they think and what they believe affects what will happen to them in their world. That they must learn to evaluate what is in their own mind. For what is in their mind, they may believe, and what you believe, so it shall be. So with this dear young one, it's important that you assist them in evaluating why they think what they think and how to change what they think, so they can change what they feel, as thoughts will create very specific conditions in your mind and body. Getting close to the close today. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I would really appreciate a message from God, as I really want a message. Thank you. Hi, Cass. If you've been listening, you've probably received multiple messages. Love. You must restore your house to love. All of you must restore your houses to love. That is what is in your mind, what is in your heart. Let nothing come into your house that is not of love. Do not let the devil in your mind. Do not let evil come into your consciousness. Love. No. It should not matter. Arya, if you're concerned about whether somebody else thinks you're attractive or not, that's not healthy. Arya, if you do not know your own beauty, then you will depend upon others for it. Do not let others be the judge of you, unless they are of a nature that indicates that your love and your happiness are important to them as their own. But Arya, do you think you're beautiful? Do you take care of your body? Do you cherish the divine temple? Because I would call into question, if you're asking, does he believe I'm beautiful? Do you believe you're beautiful? And what can you do to improve your beauty? I'm not just talking physically. I'm talking about your consciousness. Yes, I will tell her this. Okay, I'm being asked to tell you, it is important that you learn to honor your temple. Do you treat your body with great reverence? Do the foods that you consume build a good house? Do the thoughts that you think restore your house to peace and harmony? Yes. So be mindful of what you're eating, what you're drinking, and how you treat your body. Because if you think somebody needs to think that you're beautiful, it's because there's a part of you that realizes you're not treating your body the best you can treat it. You need to honor your temple, your body. All of our bodies are literally a temple of a living God. Your body is literally a temple of a living God. And how do you treat the temple? Do you feed your body good food, good water? Do you exercise? Do you take care of it? Do you meditate? How do you treat your house? Be mindful of that. I got time for one more question here, and we'll call it a day. And again, I encourage all of you, to subscribe, to follow, to like, to share. Give others the opportunity to receive these messages, that they might find the way back to their own divinity. Because the whole function of this information that comes through me is to restore you to your divinity, to being that which you are, not what the world has made you to believe you are. The world has made you believe you are something that you are not. And so you don't even know who you are. Some of you are so confused by what the world is telling you that you've disconnected from who you are. You need to learn to remember who you are, the beautiful, divine, and wonderful entity that you are, that you came here to learn to create, to love, to play, to dance, to delight in the creation that you are here to participate in. Restore yourself to love. Hi. Someone saying, will I be okay being vaxxed for Hep B, Tdap, and flu? My job is forcing me. No, you are forcing you. You have to understand that God is my immune system. God is my immune system. He gives me the air that I breathe, the sunlight I feel, the food that I eat. No man made this world. No man made that sun. None among you have done these things. None can force you to do that which goes against. You may seize this as an opportunity to assert your truth or to accept the lie. The choice is yours. If you're going to do that, though, I'm being told to tell you also, something you can get is this stuff called zeolite. Zeolite is a material that bonds, as magnetically pulls in metallic metals to itself and will remove it from the body. So if you're going to do that, I know a lot of these so-called things have a material in them called thimerosal that contains a component of mercury, which is a very powerful penetrating element for cellular material. So you want to get zeolite to help pull out those heavy metals from your body. If you're going to go that route, there are ways of counter measuring it. I ask for a divine healing of my brother Mike. He has ALS. Again, they create all these names too to make them convincing. Yes. I don't have time to share all that. I'm sorry, guys. But I do want to say, I'm asking Archangel Raphael to go to your brother Mike right now. But I'm being told also there's this frustration he has held in his heart for a long time. Anger and frustration that he's held in his heart, subconscious mind. He's held this anger and frustration deep inside. And it's been there for so long, and it's compounded that emotion organizes matter. And the emotions that he's been harboring for a very long time are now coming to fruition. Again, you can learn about all this in our masterclass series about the function of emotion, how it relates to health. It's so important. This is a very important time for humanity, for all of us. I love all of you very, very much. Thank you for your likes, your follows, your subscriptions, your support for this channel. I truly, truly appreciate it. And again, if you really want to do yourself a good service and those you love, take our masterclass 102 on liberation and learn from the masters themselves and hear their messages and go through the blessings that come from them in the meditations. I want to wish you all much love, much joy. Yes, I will. Someone's also saying to me, important, if you want to book a one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my website, William Michael Forbes, and book a reading there, as well as check out the descriptions for the master classes. You can book a half-hour or 1 hour reading with me and have a very personal and very profound and intimate experience with your guides, your angels, and the ones that are working with you in this dimension of time and space. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day. And remember, today is a brand new day, and this is a brand new moment. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Bye for now.